Yo, what is up? Welcome to Science HD. You clicked on the video. Congratulations. Next step, go grab a snacky snack, enjoy the rest of the ride, because you're about to watch a past live stream of Science HD. My name's Nolan. Rose is my co-host, almost always. Sometimes I'm alone, sometimes not. So, thank you for checking us out, and check the bio and links in the bio and descriptions of videos, and enjoy. What is good? It is your boy, your Nolan, and yeah, username MooseHD online with 2 M's because MooseHD was taken, and I'm not creative. So, welcome, first time viewer Dino in the Twitch chat. Come see us in the Twitch chat. We get lonely in here, man, but we actually don't get lonely, but sometimes we get lonely in here. So I am alone today. That is fine. Rocking it solo. And thank you for the compliments on the bow tie, Dino. I love bow ties. I've had a different one every episode. I'm going to get more. I need a rock. There's one I'm missing that I need to rock. I just remembered it, and I'm going to rock it next episode. But yeah, I've got a different one every episode, or at least I try to. I think there was one episode I missed one. Bow tie. So, a shout out is YouTube. That's a good segue. Is if you want to see every bow tie I have, you can rewatch episodes on the YouTube channel. So, easy as that. Now, where was I? Science. So some of the stuff on Science HD is not necessarily science, but everything has to do with science. So I just throw some things in there, and it's usually good. So I'm saying that because some of the stuff I have is not considered science. I also want to start asking more questions because I feel like that's what science is too. Is a lot of asking questions, and so I want to do a lot more question asking, but first, I, for some reason, really enjoy doing this thing that I'm about to do, and that's calling out a group of people. Now, I'm saying this because it sounds really bad, and I like setting it up that way, where it just sounds super bad. But I want to call out a group of people and talk to them for a little bit, because I want to call them out because it's like millions of people. That's why. And it's crazy to me. Not crazy, but it's kind of crazy how there many people are in this group. And I'm being very vague because I have a setup. But it's all my people that are Bigfoot believers. Now, there's a crap ton of Bigfoot believers. And if you were an alien coming from a different planet, you would think that there's an animal that fits the description of Bigfoot because of how many people are like, yeah, this Bigfoot is real. Now, my personal thing on it, I'm not anti-Bigfoot believers, by the way. I'm fine with people believing in Bigfoot. You want to know why? Because at the end of the day, who's getting hurt? Who's getting hurt if you believe in Bigfoot? But I do want to talk to them. So this is my message to Bigfoot people, whether you're a skeptic like me, I'm very skeptical, which is fine, or you're a hardcore believer, or you're like, yeah, it could be, but I like to have fun. Sorry, I don't want to ruin fun, but I do want to throw this out there for the hardcore believers. Now, I don't remember the order of my slides at all. I should really know that. Speaking of slides, 3, 2, 1, well, bam, there they are. Got 2 different comments in the chat. One says, I don't believe, but I'd like to think it's true, if that makes sense. Yeah, no. I wish it was true. That would be cool. Especially with how many people don't die from Bigfoot attacks. I would love for it to be true. And then we got another comment saying, I love Bigfoot. So, just from this Twitch chat alone, we have variety. So let me say that Bigfoot originated with native nations. Now, at least a variation of Bigfoot started, well, let's say Sasquatch started in some form in many different Native American or other Native nations across the Americas in some form or another. I think Bigfoot or Sasquatch, Wendigo, some other one, yada yada yada. All of them are, some of them are different monsters, but it's just a big hairy monster at the end of the day. And of course, it's a myth because no one has a picture of them. So what's the difference at the end of the day, in my opinion? But anyways, so I throw that in there. I wish Rose is on here because she knows a lot more about the history of the stories and how the myth came to be. But I know that it's a lot of Native nations, so that's cool. But now you fast forward to the 21st century, and now it's based off of crap. I don't remember the order of this. Let me pull it up on my phone real quick. I need to know the order of this. Sorry. So, okay. Here's what. Okay, wait. I have a title. I think there's a Squatch in these woods. That's my favorite line because I used to watch this TV show called Finding Bigfoot. And Finding Bigfoot had this clip in it, and this is a well-known clip throughout Bigfooters history. This is just a snapshot of that clip. This is what every Bigfooter claims to be a real picture / video of Bigfoot. Not playing the video because I'm not going to go too in depth of Bigfoot videos and breaking them down. And it's not a gorilla because this is taken in California in like 1960 something. Now, this stance has been marketed. It has been well known throughout the community, and if you see a Bigfoot statue, it's probably walking like this, and that's where they got it from, is this picture and video. But this picture is pretty well known too. So he basically walks like that, and they're like, yeah, that's the Bigfoot walk. That's how Bigfoot walk. So it is very interesting in that regard, as for the culture and history. But as for the science, I'm going to need to see a little bit more proof and evidence, because evidence is probably not the biggest part of science, but it's one of them if you want your hypothesis to be supported correctly. So if I were saying, like, okay, let's prove that Bigfoot exists. Yes, I'm ready for a heckler, Fudd McD. So if you were to say, let's prove that Bigfoot exists. So what you would do is you just go look for a Bigfoot, whether you got to trap it, right? Or kill it, or what people want to try to do is get it on video for some reason, or picture. What you end up with most evidence for people are footprints, maybe even tufts of hair, and then you analyze it through DNA, and then you get the weird, like I don't know how official the analyzing is of the DNA, but then you get the things where they're like, this isn't bear fur. This might be linked to a ape-like creature. Yada, yada, yada. That's on shows. I don't even know how true or false this is. I'm just saying what I'm taking in, all right? So, another point with Bigfoots are, if Bigfoot was real, we would have found significant picture, video, evidence, dead body, alive body, more evidence, bones, literally bones, dude, then we would find that stuff by now. We would. We're humans. We would find that. A good defense is, okay, you see how common wolves are in, let's say, Michigan or Wisconsin, but you go out camping and you never see a wolf, or you go out driving on the highway and where animals cross all the time, but you never see a wolf. Or I've never seen a wolf in Michigan, or any time in the wild. And wolves are in the United States. So what if there was even less population of Bigfoot? Do you really think you'd see it? No. No, I wouldn't. But someone would at some point, because we've seen wolves. Even if there was a less population. Here's my defense. I don't know the year, but there was this population of wolves. They're called Mexican gray wolves. And there was an abundant population. They are a subspecies of the gray wolf, but they're different enough to consider them in their own little tiny category, but not like a separate species, okay? Now, there used to be thousands of them. They ate a lot of cattle. They were abundant in Mexico, and they were abundant in southwest United States. Then they kept eating cattle. Farmers got pissed, and wolves ate the cattle, so they got shot, right? Now, they got shot so many times that there was eventually no wolves in the wild except for 7 of them. They found 7 of them. That's all they could find. All they could find were 7 of them. And so what they did was captured those 7 wolves. And I'm talking about 7, dude, by the way, in a huge population. 7. I can count that on my fingers. There are 7 of them. And I just want to drill that home because for multiple reasons. But I just want to bring this up. So they took those 7, they bred them together, and they started dispersing them across the United States in rescue centers and zoos and stuff like that. And they're still doing that till this very day, because there's only a little bit over 300, maybe 400 in the wild today. Now, how do you know that? Because they count them. If there was a steady population over thousands of years or hundreds of years, which if it was an ape-like creature like this, it would have to be alive for millions and millions of years, which means there would probably be a fossil of its ancestors or something like that, or we'd be able to just find bones of it now. A creature like this would have to be alive for millions of years. What I'm trying to say is, if we could find 7 Mexican gray wolves, we can find 1 damn Bigfoot. So, because there's not just one. If the Bigfoot sightings are happening as often as they are, there's not just one. So, that's my point on Bigfoot. Okay? All right. Now, there are TV shows. I actually enjoy the TV shows. I really, really enjoy the TV shows. They are fun, they're exhilarating, and it kind of gets my nerves going because I'm like, yeah, I'm not afraid of the dark, but if I were to walk through the woods at night with a flashlight and like barely anything else, looking for something big and scary, possibly, I would be scared. And honestly, when I do walk at night, I am still like a little bit afraid of the Bigfoot because I am skeptical, but anything can happen in this world. You never know how big it is. So yes, I enjoy the TV shows. I support it. If you see the dude kneeling on the ground right there, just keep that face. If you can even see him, keep that face in your memory bank, because I went to a Bigfoot conference this past weekend, and that's why I'm talking about this. I went with my dad, and yeah, I went with my dad, and it was a really disappointing time because it was so small. I thought it was gonna be much bigger, but I guess the funding for the Bigfoot Conference of Michigan wasn't super huge, so it was a little disappointing, but it was fun to go and say I've been to a Bigfoot conference, and it was cool. It was actually like really cool seeing like the little community get together, just people that share a common interest. And there's people with podcasts out there about not just Bigfoot, but other supernatural things. And I think you do you. You're not hurting anyone. It's actually kind of cool. And if I was around long enough, I actually would have checked out one of the podcasts because they had like microphones set up. It was cool. I got some stickers because Rose likes Bigfoot, and so I got her Bigfoot stickers. But I got some stickers, and yeah, it was cool. So I support Bigfoot people. I do. I really do. They're cool. One of these people were here, so I met him. There I am with Mr. Accord, Russell Accord. He's a cool guy. He's super cool. He's chill. He's not crazy. He's got his head screwed on tight. So I'm like, dude, he's not hurting a single soul. I am so chill with Bigfoot people. And that's where I realized that this past weekend that I'm super chill with Bigfoot people. So I'm calling out the Bigfoot people to say I am chill with you. Now, I'm going to read this comment made by Rose. And she said, I have a friend that says Bigfoots travel through cave systems. There's also a Bigfoot show that says if they catch a Bigfoot, they can win millions. Now, I think if Bigfoot actually went through cave systems, I feel like we'd be able to find the cave. And then, in turn, if they travel through cave systems and that's how they're so stealthy, find the Bigfoot. So, I don't know. And then the show could possibly put up, you can win millions if you find a Bigfoot, because maybe, I don't know. Never mind. I'm not even going to go there. I'm just spitting. But Bigfoots, I like the idea, but I'm personally not a believer in Bigfoot, and that's okay, because we can settle on our differences. I'm saying that for everyone, not just one person. But I'm segueing the Bigfoot stuff into something that we have found. Now, Bigfoot might not exist today, but what if I told you Bigfoot has already existed and is now extinct? Yo, what, Nolan? You gonna tell me you're gonna finish that sentence, Nolan? What the heck? Just okay. This is what happens when I'm by myself. I just talk like that. So what I mean by that is this thing called Gigantopithecus. Scientific name, Gigantopithecus blacki. That name that I just said is a fossil. It's an extinct animal. And its fossils have been found from, I think, 300,000 to 2 million years ago. So it's old, but it's not like super old. It's actually pretty relatively young. I think the Ice Age was around that time. I'm not sure though on the Ice Age. I need to have that memorized better. But so I want to tell you about Gigantopithecus because it once started. It was a cool story actually. There's this anthropologist named Ralph von Koenigswald, and this dude was doing his anthropology work in China in the 30s, I believe. And he went to a drugstore, right? And they were selling these dragon teeth things. It might have been like a necklace or just dragon teeth in general. Not Komodo dragon, like Chinese dragon teeth, right? And so he was looking at them and he was like, huh, these are like real teeth. And I don't know what animal it is. So he probably bought it or something and took it back. And he found that they were actually belonged to a undocumented animal that once existed. And it's a fossil, not an actual tooth. And so he found them in drugstores. I don't know how many, but here's what they look like. And he realized, dude, these are human teeth. Or they look almost like human teeth, but much bigger, like ginormous compared to human teeth. There's not really good scale reference on this picture. And so based off that, he was like, this could be an ape. This could be an early human. This could be some other animal. And then what the other scientists have found parts of the jaw and with matching teeth. And based off the jaw, they're like, holy crap, this jaw is huge. I think they found partial parts of the jaw, and maybe this might be a reconstruction, or this might be one of the jaws. And so this is like, you might not be able to see the size on this one either, but they found a jaw that was huge, and it had the same teeth structure as early apes, maybe even a similar time period. And they, based off how the mandible worked and how they see things with other fossils and how current animals do their thing, they were able to detect that this was an early ape. And then based off the jaw, they were able to guess the scale of the entire animal, roughly. So they probably don't, just take this thought, they probably don't know the actual size of the animal exactly, like the body. And they probably don't know the actual height. But based off this jaw and other data, and the way you can assume some things, you can estimate on what this animal looked like. So this is a case of an extremely limited fossil record. And so when you have an extremely limited fossil record, it's hard to determine what the animal looked like. So it's just a guessing game based off of really good evidence. So they were like, okay, it looks like this, which looks like big orangutan. But this is found in China, so it's an Asian climate, over there in Asia, and orangutans, it's probably in a similar area as orangutans. And yeah, so they were probably like, okay, we can make it orange because maybe there's a pressure to have orange fur as an ape over there. I don't know. This is just me thinking. But I don't know what they actually thought. I need to look more into this to properly give you this. But yeah. So I think Bigfoot is real. Actually, scratch that. Bigfoot was real. And his name was Gigantopithecus. I knew this before going to the convention, but even if I didn't know this, I think I would still be chill with Bigfoot people. But Bigfoot people, every Bigfoot person out there, we got him, man. We got him. We got Gigantopithecus, which is even a cool name for a fossil. That's like, fossil names don't get that cool. They get really complex, and they get kind of like stupid because it just is either someone's last name mixed with a really weird word that doesn't make sense, or a saurus like Herrerasaurus. Oh, probably founded by a guy named Herrera. But Gigantopithecus is like, okay, that sounds like a fossil, and it sounds like it's huge. So I'm really happy with this find. And yes, they only found parts of its mouth, but they found 2,000 teeth that they believed belong to Gigantopithecus. That's crazy. Imagine finding teeth in a rock of earth. I feel like that still blows my mind how people find teeth and do that analyzing. But yeah. So I've spent a lot of time on this Bigfoot segment. I'm going to move on. But yeah, type in chat if you have any interest in Gigantopithecus or Bigfoot. At the end of the day, it's cool to still have that Bigfoot stuff because it's interesting, and anything can happen in this damn world because it's so huge. It is bigger than you think. Although it feels small sometimes, it's way bigger than you think. And there are still so many animals out there that we don't know about. It's crazy. So, this is an example of limited fossil record. Now you might be like, all right, Nolan, show me an example of non-limited fossil record. Something that's very well supported, lots of fossils and knowledge based off that. All right, I'll show you. Rose and I went to Chicago last year, and we saw Sue the T-Rex. Now, 90% of the bones you're looking at, except for the skull, of course, because the skull's in a different case, are real fossils. And then, like, less than 10% of them are casts to be filled in. And I'll tell you this much. The ones, they show, like, a little chart. There's, like, people looking at a tablet down there. There's a chart that shows you how many of the bones are not real, and they had to be casted because they couldn't find them. Those bones are super small. Like, I don't think it was like a hip bone or a huge bone that they had. So they dug up this Tyrannosaurus Rex, and they call her Sue, and they dug her up and found 90% of the bones you're looking at, which is crazy. And then here's the actual skull. And it's a pretty big skull, man. It's so huge. It's so cool too. So you can take this and you can very much determine what it looked like. It's an absolute beast. You're right. It's a beast. The teeth are like size of bananas, which just blows my mind. I don't know. It's like dinosaurs are just so cool. So look more into Sue the T-Rex and you'll find her. Just look up Sue the T-Rex and I think it's like 94%, but I'm not sure, so I just put 90. I know it's definitely in the 90s. Could be 96 or 94. I get those two numbers confused for some reason. So yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot dinosaur in the chat. Yeah. Hey, it's a perfect episode for you to come on, dinosaur. It's a perfect episode for you to tune in. I forgot about that. I didn't even put that together. So, next segment. You have a micro. That's my next segment. Now, when I say you have a micro, I mean you have a microbiome in yourself, in you. Because if you did not, you would not exist. Now, what this microbiome is a bunch of bacteria inside your body going to work on whatever bacteria does, which is just live and reproduce and live and reproduce and die. All these bacteria are good for you, and the ones that are bad for you result in sore throat, runny nose, cough, yada 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 yada. Whether it's a virus or a bacteria, that's what happens, man. Whether your lymph nodes get swollen or your tummy hurts, all of these bad ones let you know they're there. Now, the good ones, when they are attacked, that could be bad, of course. When they are attacked inside your gastrointestinal system, that is where it gets iffy. Now, when you have something in your gastrointestinal system and it's infecting that and it needs to be flushed out, you can't just sit there and poop it all out. You gotta transplant it out some of the time, or maybe even most of the time. Not sure if it's all 100% of the time. So there's this infection called C. diff or Clostridium difficile, and my mom, who's nurse, was telling me about it, and because I asked her, and I was like, "What is that?" It's like, what is? I never asked her how I get it, which I should have asked. But you can look it up. Just look up C and then diff, like the word different, but just cut off after the F. Look that up. I never asked how to get that. I probably should do that next time. But that's basically when this infection gets inside of your gastrointestinal tract, and you've got to get a fecal transplant. What is fecal? Poop. What's a transplant? Move, place. So yeah. You're going to have surgery to get your poop replaced. Now, you might have misheard me right there and be like, wait, no, you say replaced? That means something else is going in and not just coming out. Yes, you heard me right. I said replaced. Now, I don't know how many people knew that this was a surgical procedure for this treatment. But yes, you can have a poop transplant. And you need to replace it, because if you just took the bad stuff out and didn't put any of the good stuff in, you would just have slightly less of the bad stuff, and they would just reproduce, because they reproduce like boom, 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 boom. All right. So it'd almost be pointless. It'd feel like cleaning it out temporarily, I think, or maybe not even temporarily with infection. You might still feel it, but it'd be like cleaning it out temporarily. So you need to replace it by having someone that's healthy and doesn't have this infection and give you their poop. You know, Now, a lot of people might get sick by just looking at poop, so I put a poop emoji on it. Although there was poop there for a second. It's of course in a bottle, and it's not solid. I don't even know if that was against like TOS or anything. Terms of service for any of those people that don't know the lingo. But yeah, so there's poop on the screen. Poop emoji. I should be more specific. Anyways, what I want to bring up is I saw this video of a person talking about fecal transplants, right? And they said, "Hi, my name's so-and-so. Here's a picture of two identical twins. They have the same DNA, and one of them is obese. One of them is not, even though they have the same DNA. This woman right here has yada, yada, yada in her bacteria, and this woman does not. So we took the obese woman's bacteria and injected it into a twin mouse or a rat, regardless, rodent. So they took that fecal and injected it into the fecal of a rat, and that rat became obese, apparently. So I read this video and I was like, so you're telling me that the fecal transplant between an obese, I guess, organism and a non-obese organism caused the non-obese organism to become obese? Weird. So I have to read more into that. And so I didn't do a very good job, I'm not gonna lie. So that's why it's just a shorter segment. But I read more into it, and I found articles that were testing the opposite way. So they took an obese, I don't know if it was a human or not, but they took an obese organism and they did a fecal transplant of a fit or non-obese person and put it in the obese organism. I don't know if it was a person or not, so I'm just going to say organism. And they kind of suggested that evidence was supporting that the microbiota were doing better, but it wasn't very well supported, and there needs to be more evidence. And that's basically how both articles I read left it off. And I think that's what this person should have said, because if it happens once, doesn't guarantee actual results, doesn't make it a fact, doesn't make it a scientific theory, which is the same thing as almost the same thing as saying it's a fact. There's not much difference between a fact and a scientific theory, by the way. A regular theory, there's a difference between that and scientific theory, but I'll talk about that some other time. And so, yes, just want to throw that out there. I don't know how true it is, like, at all. And it's kind of crazy to me that could happen. Like, I never even thought about that, and I wouldn't be surprised if that could happen. So I'd also like throwing this in here because you don't always have, when you're doing like scientific research, you don't always have, yes, this is what happens with someone so or something and something, or no, this does not happen with something and something. It's like, this could happen with something and something, but we need more evidence to support the hypothesis. And it's never like, yes, this is true. It's always, this supports the hypothesis. And that's why I like science, because it's not like, yes, this is the law. Boom. No, it's like, this could be the law, but it needs more evidence. So, yeah. That's my You Have a Microbiome segment. Clap, 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 clap. Let me get some water. Next, inspired by Marvel's What If, who is watched, or that is watched by many. I really like this series on Disney Plus. This is not a plug. It's just me really liking this TV show, but not as like a TV show that I would watch again. It's just like, yeah, it was a good short TV show, good short season. If you're not into Marvel, just ignore that and move on, I guess. So I work at a summer camp, right? So I work with a bunch of kids. Well, not with a bunch of kids, but for a bunch of kids. No, not for a bunch of kids. I work because I don't work. They're not my coworkers, and I don't work for them. I don't even know what you would call that. I work, and there happens to be a bunch of kids around I'm in charge of. There. So, anyways, we were sitting down, and I heard this kid talk to this other kid about a weird yet super creative idea that I didn't think I would ever talk about on the science show, but it's a good question to ask, and I like asking questions. That's how everything starts. So I don't even have an answer. I'm just going to ask the question, and it might twist your brain like it did mine, and I think it would be super interesting. So I heard the kid say this. What if you got split in half? Just think like a kid, man. Just think like a kid. Okay. What if you got split in half, and then I added this part, but your brain still worked as like one unit, like a hive mind almost? And then what if you got split in half? How would vision be and look if you were, let's say, 50 feet apart? It's like, let's say, half of me. Okay, I can still see out of this eye. I can still see out of that eye. All right, now this thing somehow hops all the way over there, and this eye stays right here. How would my world look without my eyes being right next to each other? And how would it look if one eye was over here looking that way and the other eye wasn't even looking in the same direction, or even close to the same direction, or at the same things? How would it work in one brain? That's basically what this kid was asking. And I was like, whoa. Because she was like, that's kind of crazy to think about. She literally said that's kind of crazy to think about. And I was like, that is crazy to think about. What? So I also, if you somehow could simulate that or test it somehow, I would wonder if you could look at each other's eyes. Like if you had the same mind, but you had an eye right here and an eye right there, and you're looking into your own eye, would that do anything? Or would it not? I feel like I could say that it might do something because it's one brain and you're looking at your eye, but mirrors exist. So I look at my eyes every day. But does that not count because it's a mirror and it's just a reflection, and you need to like actually look at your own eye because you've never actually been able to do that in your life because you can't? So I don't know. I keep thinking about that, and I feel like that's a healthy thing to do, is just like think of impossible things and try to make it seem impossible, or think of new things that could not really be possible, but almost. What I'm just trying to say is WTF. So my last thing I want to do kind of quick because by the way, here's an eye, here's an eye. So what if you like looked at each other? Okay, I'm done. So the last thing, I don't have many people in chat, but anyone in chat, if you want to play along, you can. If not, no worries. People on YouTube, if you want to play along, go for it. You can do, if you get the answer wrong, take a sip or shot or something, whatever. Or you could just be like, if you get it wrong, tough luck. If you somehow get these all right, hit me up. For real, hit me up. I've got a present for you. Might be just a high five, but I have Name That Baby. Woo! Just imagine a crowd. Okay, so Name That Baby. I thought of this game after last week's naming the butterfly. If you name the butterfly name correctly after I fit it in with a bunch of things that sound like a butterfly name, you get a point type thing. But yes, this is Name That Baby. So I'm going to show you a picture of a baby, and you have to name it. It's animals, by the way. I didn't preface that it was not humans. It's animals. So first up, I'll tell you what animal it is, and I'll show you what it looks like as a baby. So this is an echidna. I'm also going to do platypus because they're both monotremes, so they're both egg-laying mammals. And they're the only two egg-laying mammals in the world. And that's a baby echidna. Oh, it's so cute. So cute. That's probably the cutest thing on here. And then here's a platypus. And here's a baby platypus. Oh, it's so wrinkly. All right. So they're both of these babies are called the same thing. Now don't look it up and ruin the fun for yourself. This is not a porcupine. This is an echidna. Now the babies, what are they called? Are they called pibbles, puffles, pebbles, or puggles? Look at this thing. I'll say it again. Are these pibbles, puffles, pebbles, or puggles? I made up all of these names except for one of them. Actually, two of them, technically. Well, one of them. Actually, I didn't make up any of these. I just got, yeah. So last time, third time's the charm. Pibbles, puffles, pebbles, or puggles. The correct answer is puggles. Woo! Yeah, these are puggles. It's a weird name for a baby. All right, next up. I'm moving fast. A seahorse. Now I don't need to scroll back and forth between a picture. The seahorse is seahorsing, and the babies are doing their thing, being little fluffers, little foals, little squirts, or little fries. A lot of people actually might know this one. And it might be obvious if you know your baby names for animals. If you knew your baby names for animals, you might know this. So last time, is it a fluffer, a foal, a fry, or a squirt? I know what name I want it to be. And then the correct answer is little baby fries. Little. So a thing I've had a bad trait on is having a British accent sometimes. When I say little, I do like the stereotypical, not even real British accent of little. Instead of little, I do little. And I did not mean to do it right there when I was saying little baby seahorse fries things. But yeah, I did foal just because that's a normal horse baby, but it's a seahorse. So I didn't know if people would be like, well, if it's a normal horse, it's probably a seahorse as well. That was my idea on that. Next up, bat. Now, baby bats. I picked fruit bats because a term I made up was fruit bats are the cute bats. And that's just true because look at these. The other bats look like they would kill you. But these ones look like they want to just cuddle for the night. Now, if you want to cuddle for this little baby bat, what would you call it? Would you call it a pup, a calf, a snuggie, or a chick? What would you call this thing, man? I'm going to do it again. A pup, a calf, a snuggie, or a chick? Doop 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 doop. This is a pup. Ding ding ding. This is a pup. I think a lot of people might have known that one as well. Yeah. So just remember, if the bat is cute, it probably eats fruit. Next up, sorry. Next up is an ant. Now, what do you call a baby ant? Do you call it a larva? Eggling? Say that one again since it's a weird word. Eggling. This one's also a weird one. Larvling. Or an antling. I tried doing weird animals, not like basic animals. But I have some basic in here too. You are doing good this time, Rose. Rose is in chat. She's guiding chat. You should be on camera. Oh well. I don't know how many time. I don't know how much you got last time. So okay, larva, larvling, eggling, or antling is the choices for the ant babies. There's I don't know how ants work. I need to know, and I actually want my own little ant colony. See how long they last. And see what they build. So, I really want to know. The correct answer is antling. What? That's cute. That's so cute. I thought that one was a cute name. So, I thought I'd include it. Next up, we have eagles, baby. Other than the word fledgling, other than the word fledgling, because that's like what it's called, yes. What is a baby eagle called? Is it a fuzzling, a birdling, a fuzzlet, or an eaglet? Yeah, some of the words I have could be fake. Some of them could be real, but not used for that one. And some of them could be used for that one and used for other ones. So it's weird. There's like, that's why it's challenging. And that's why, like, I didn't think this one was going to work because a lot of animals are named the same thing. Like a dog and a bat, both pups when they're puppies. So the correct answer for this one, for fuzzling, birdling, fuzzlet, or eaglet, is eaglet. It's an eaglet. That's the coolest. That's one of the coolest ones to me. I think that's what they should name it instead of fledgling, but it's fledgling or eaglet, or maybe eaglet might be an older one, but eaglet for sure. Okay, this one I've known for years. This next one, but I really wanted to incorporate a picture of it, is a goat. Everyone knows goats. Everybody knows goats, man. But what is a baby goat called? Is it a dilly, a kid, a kindling, or a goatlet? Like an outlet. Look at all these baby goats, man. That's so cute. It's so cute. I'll tell you it again. Is it a dilly, kid, kindling, or goatlet? And if you said kid, you are absolutely crushing it right now. These are kids. And I think that's one of the best names. That fits them. Look at them. Look at those kids, man. They're so cute. These goat kids, at least. This next one's a little weird, a little cool, and I'm trying to stump y'all, so just know that. We have a hare. It's not an eastern cottontail. It's a hare. And this is not a piece of hair. Like tortoise in the hare, this is that thing. Now, is that thing, when it's a baby, which looks like this, Oh, so cute. Sorry, I'm just like losing it. Is that a babe? A jumpling? A pup? Or a leveret? I'll give you another one. Babe, jumpling, pup, or leveret. It's like a lever et pup, babe. It's like jump, ling. Ha ha ha. Hee hee hee. Oh my gosh, I just realized after staring at this picture for a while, there's two babies in this picture. There's one right behind this first one in the camera. The correct answer is, I wish it was jumpling, but it's a leveret. It's the worst name for a baby. Here, you can name this thing so many cute things, but humanity chose leveret. I'm wondering how words are created, man. Are they all voted by people, or is it like one person just makes up all this stuff? So next up, I had to incorporate that super cute picture. It's a hedgehog, and I ain't talking about Sonic, right? Okay, this one, is it a calf? Oh wait, this is not even a baby. This is the baby. It gets cuter. They're actually born blind for 2 to 3 weeks, so that one actually might be blind. Is it a calf, a pupling, pharaoh, or hoglet? A calf, pupling, pharaoh, or hoglet for this beautiful little hedgehog. Tiny little spines, tiny little feet. It's blind. It needs help. Probably needs some milk. It's pokey. It's a hoglet. Dum dum dum. Jeez. That's a rough one-eyed hedgehog. Jeez. I'm seeing some stuff in chat, man. I'm talking about a one-eyed hedgehog. Hoglet, baby. I like the name Hoglet. It's so cute. Next up, I thought I'd incorporate something not so cute. Nothing about this animal speaks cute to me for some reason, because it's not a beaver, but it looks like one, and it has a rat tail. It's like if you were to make a beaver ugly to me. Like, beaver tails make the beaver cute, in my opinion. But I'm going to just take that tail for a rat tail, and you have this thing called a muskrat. What would you call a baby muskrat? It doesn't look as bad. It looks like this. Oh, that's so cute. What would you call this? A kin? A kit? A kid? Or a kinlet? Like, spelled like kind lit. So maybe kindlet. A kin? Kid? Kit? Or kindlet? Or kinlet? I don't know how to say that. Muskrat, muskrat, muskrat. Giving you time. The correct answer is kit. And I made up the word kindlet / kinlet, but I wanted it to make it look more realistic. I'm stumbling over my words because I don't know how to say it, and that makes it look more realistic, like a word I've never seen before. Because I've never seen it before because I made it up. So strategy didn't really work for the chat, but that's fine. The last two are probably easy. I got a peafowl or a peacock. Well, are these cute, adorable babies that are not colorful? like their parents, named Peelit, Chicklet, Peachick, or Chickling. Think of it. Think about it. Think about it. Okay. We're getting there. Yep. Is it a Peelit, a Chicklet, Peachick, or Chickling? Think about it. It's one of those. And it's not a Chicklet, it's not a Peelit, and it's not a Chickling. It's a Peachick. And that is probably that's top tier. That's a top tier baby name. Like, this whole segment is not sciencey, but I have to talk about it because it's like science enough where there's baby names for animals, and it's cool. So this is why I'm talking about it. So it's a Peachick. Peachick. I don't know why I like that name. That's a top tier name. Last one. It's a very cool looking animal. And it is called a porcupine. Porcupine. Thank you for the sub, Thirsty Sully. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. You just arrived on the last thing we're talking about today. And the last animal that we're guessing the baby names of. And, yeah. So welcome on in. Here's what a baby porcupine looks like. Oh my god, I'm about to cry. That's a baby porcupine. Oh my gosh, it looks so soft. I don't know if that's actually the same species as this one. It's really hard to find baby porcupine photos because not a lot of people are near porcupines when they have babies. But yeah, no. So is this a pup? A spineling? A kit? Or a porcupet? I'll say it again. Is this a pup? It's the last one. Kitten. Or not kitten. Kit. Sorry. Spineling. Or a porcupet? It's a very cool name to me. And there's only 2 cool names on here. So this little baby is called a porcupet, and it really is. This is probably the top tier animal of the day because it's got the cuteness down and it's got a cute name for itself down. So don't worry, the porcupine is called the porcupet, and you could sleep at night now because it's matched. Because if it was named a pup, that would be like a lack of creativity and a lack of variety, and I would probably be upset right with you until the very end. But say goodbye to the porcupet, and say goodbye to your science fellow, since science guy is taken. And I think that concludes Science HD for the night. Shorter episode. I'm by myself, but I spent a good chunk on Sasquatch, and I'm happy about that. I really wanted to talk about that. I guess I didn't realize how much I want to talk about it until I started making the thing for it. Last thing is check out the YouTube, check out the Instagram. That's a big one. Check out the Instagram. Don't have the link tree off the top of my thing. If you do Linktree /ScienceHD, it'll take you right to it, the Instagram. So check out the Instagram, or just look up ScienceHD on Instagram, man. Can we just do that, man? But we'll post updates on there, and we'll post clips from this stream, and we're gonna post when it's uploaded to YouTube, and the link tree's there, so you can take it right to YouTube. We'll post when we're live. We'll do all that jazz, man. I think that's where we update the most. Join the Discord if you're interested in gaming and more science. We got both there. Lots more gaming though, and yeah, that's it for me. I wish I had an applause button. I'm gonna get that. I really want to get that. I'm gonna get it. Maybe not right now, but I will. So yes, stick around for the theme song, and thank you for tuning in to
Science.